Somebody in our comment section said that Steele's starting to sound like Cartman in the Summer House episodes because of how much I say Cal.
Are you really? I haven't caught on to that. I feel like that's something that I would have immediately keyed in on.
I'm just gonna have to start saying it like Cartman. Come on, Cal.
In what context are you saying Kyle like that, though?
Not like that. They just said the amount that I'm saying Kyle is Steele's starting to sound like Cartman.
Well, that's not your fault. I've got your back on this one. We have to talk about Kyle a lot, so it's not your fault.
Thanks, brother.
As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be.
Oh man, it's 8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a.
I don't need the spotlight. I shine just fine.
Hi, I'm Karma, and yes, I am a bitch.
Brav Bros.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Brav Bros, your favorite podcast from the bros for everybody, for whoever wants to listen. I'm your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Scooter Madooter. What's up, dude?
Enjoying Summer House. It's a fun ride. It's finally in that sweet spot where Kyle and Amanda's shit doesn't really matter to the rest of the group, and we're still able to just kind of do our own thing. Everybody's kind of pointing it out. It was like a fourth wall break to start off the episode. It was fantastic.
It took 10 years to get to that point, but we have finally gotten there, everybody. We don't have to get stuck and derail the entire house because Kyle and Amanda are having the same fight that they've had for 5 years. So progress, right? That's what we want.
It's progress. And I do think not only can we point to everybody else still able to have fun and just kind of move on their own without worrying about Kyle and Amanda, there's another glaring issue or resolve. I don't know exactly how to put it. There's one person in particular that I'm pointing at saying, what are you doing? What's your angle here? What are you trying to accomplish this summer? It's not ruining the show for me, and you're also actively not ruining the show for me, but I don't know what you're doing here right now, and I can't quite put my thumb on it. And you know who I'm talking about.
I think I know you're talking. I think I know what and who you're talking about, but I don't know, and I don't want to ruin it. I want to wait.
No, it's not something that I'm gonna like blast out later because again, there's no real context to talk about this person, and it's just like, what are you doing? What's going on here? I know what you're doing. I thought that you were going to go into the summer like this, but it's a glaring issue for me right now because it's either all in or all out. And I think I need to find a middle ground with this person.
Now I'm questioning whether or not I know what you're talking. I think I know what you're talking about. Is it Ciara?
No, it's Jesse.
Oh, well, that's one and the same. That's my point.
Oh, no, with Jesse, it's like he ruined the season last year. He had a good season to start off with. Try to get back to that. I knew he was going to go into the season just trying not to step on any toes and piss people off and be weird. So that's good. But also now I'm like poking him with a stick, like do something, like get involved in some way.
I see what
like,
you're saying.
I know you're just trying to stay out of the limelight and not annoy people, but like, come on, do something if you're going to be there.
I agree to a certain extent. I don't know. I think it's only episode 3. So like, I understand still kind of laying low and seeing what comes of the summer. I'm in a weird place with him too, but mainly because I like him and Ciara Kiki. Like I do. I enjoy those scenes. I think they have a good rapport, but you know what I'm worried about. And I don't know. I think production's trying intentionally to lead us down that path to think that it's more than it is. But that's where my head goes because I've seen this song and dance before in this damn house. And I'm like, wait a minute. Please no. I don't think let me clarify. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. But they're making me think that it might happen. And I don't want it to happen. And it's this weird place that I'm currently living in because I like their scenes. I think they have a great banter. But then I'm like, if you guys hook up, I swear to God.
Oh, there we go. Okay. At least you finally said it. I love that we're starting off the episode basically like vague posting because I just went on a whole tangent about someone and didn't actually name it. And then you went on a whole tangent about something that could happen, but you didn't actually say it until the very end. So at least we ripped the Band-Aid off there.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen either. But even looking at Ciara and Jesse, they were flirting a lot last year, and that added to how much it annoyed me. That was really brutal to watch. They're flirting this year, but it's like innocent flirting. So I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, and I don't know if it will because I even said this like We talked about it in the first episode. We talked about it before the season even came out. We knew Jesse was going to do this. We knew he was going to take a back seat because he understands and he's very, very aware of his self-image when it comes to this show. And he learned that the hard way last year, which is good. And I'm going to applaud him for understanding not to continue that behavior this year. But at some point, he does have a pretty good personality and he fits in with everybody here. I'm going to need you to do something. And I don't want him to do anything with Ciara. I want him to get involved with the other shit going on.
Yeah, I hear you. I think he will. I think he's still in that grace period, not grace period,
Easing into
more
it.
like cool down period of like, yeah, last year was horrible, like really bad, like as bad as you can do on this show. So I don't know. I would say like after next week, he needs to start getting involved. But I do see what he's doing, and
give
like,
him one more episode, see where.
Exactly. And I would much prefer this to last year. Like if he wants to lay back, I would much rather see that than whatever the fuck that was last year.
Yeah, and I do wonder if the masses who are watching this show are watching it the same way I am, which I clearly doubt. I think that I'm looking at it way differently, but I am very focused on it. I am hyper aware of what he's doing at all times, and he's not doing anything. So it might be taking away from the show for me. I'm still really enjoying the show, but I'm looking at him like, you're a big personality, and if you go back to the first season that he was on the show, it helped a lot, and it was really fun to watch. And then we showed what he is capable of last year, and I hated it. So I want him to try to get back to season 1, and maybe he will. Maybe I'm being a little too critical right now, but I'm worried that he's going to take a backseat the whole season because of last year, and that doesn't bode well for reality TV.
Do you think that you're at all impacted by the West of it all? Like how he went through his fallout last year? Are you concerned that Jesse is going to sit by the entire season?
No, because West did a good job last year where, yes, it was like, all right, like he started
did fine. I just meant he laid low all summer.
He laid low, but he was still involved in a lot. He was still like at the forefront of a lot of the things that were going on in a lot of the conversations. Whereas Jesse, yes, he might think his role now is to just kind of kiki with Ciara, which is enjoyable and it's fine. But his role is also to be involved in what the dudes are doing. And again, it's more just because he's a big personality. Because you could say the same thing about what we're seeing or what we're not seeing from, newbies with Ken and Ben, or Ken with KJ and Ben.
Ken and Ben.
Yeah, Ken and Ben. I wonder if his first name is Kenneth.
Huh. It could be Ken and Ben.
It could work. Ken and Ben would really, really help me out.
KJ to me implies a junior, but his dad's name is Al. His dad, by the way, everybody out there, my dad played with and against his father in the major leagues. I didn't know that. He was drafted in 86.
Dad sounds like a real piece of shit. So
yeah, but he was drafted in 86. My dad was drafted in 84, 83 or 84, and they both played for the Braves around the same time. So I think that they have crossed paths.
You can find out from your dad if KJ's dad's a piece of shit, which we already know he is.
Should I call
him Dad.
Should I call him on air?
Played with this guy. Was he a huge piece of shit? And do you think he's ever capable of change?
Should I call him right now?
Dads? Yeah, let's find out if he has the vibe that KJ's dad's now going to reach out to him, that he's on reality TV.
Okay.
I was kidding. I wasn't like actually.
I was just going to call him and say, hey, did you ever play with Al Martin and see what his thoughts was on it? No.
Make sure he knows he's live to air or live to tape or whatever.
I'll give it a shot.
Terminology is.
Let's call JR, everybody. Oh.
Damn. Sent a voicemail.
He's in spring training. He's in spring training right now, so I'm sure they're still at the field. It's like before spring training too, so you have to get everything lined up. So he usually calls me back at like 8 p.m. He's also in Arizona, so different time.
That'll be a fun callback because we'll be done doing all of this.
I'll ask him though, and then I'll let you guys know about what he thinks about Al Martin. But anyway, we have preambled long enough. Let's jump into the episode, and it's a doozy. My God. This topic is one, very captivating because we've been waiting so long to really get into it. But two, it's fucking sad. Like this is kind of sad to watch, and I knew it would be, but it's actually more sad than I thought it would be.
I think there's a lot of people out there that really did think this was going to be satisfying. And in a way, I don't know, like the words that are coming to my brain right now are like rewarding, but it's not really rewarding. It's just because we've watched it for so long with no real move and we've been in an impasse for so long and we're kind of tired of hearing about it because it's the same song and dance every year. Now that
Yeah,
it's finally amounting to something and we know what's going on currently, it is in a way rewarding, but rewarding implies positivity. This isn't
right.
positive. This is tough to watch, and it's two people that are, and for Kyle, for all of his faults, like it's sad to watch him. For Amanda, obviously, it's been sad to watch her for a while. It's sad to watch this whole thing kind of devolve. And they're not getting anywhere. And honestly, they're just kind of moving in the wrong direction or right direction, depending on how you want to look at it. I'm sure there are people out there that are like, hell yeah, finally, we're finally getting this. And they're not looking
Yeah,
at how sad it is. But like reimagining that these are two very real people, it is kind of
right.
sad to watch.
Yeah, I think the word would be resolution. We're getting resolution, but it doesn't mean that it's like, yay, right? It's like, because I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
It's satisfying in the way that it's like, okay, we can finally put this to bed, but not
correct.
satisfying. Like I feel good about
But
watching this.
yeah, but satisfying is also the wrong word because it implies positivity. So it's just
What's the
like
word? What's
there has to be a word.
a negative way to say that we got closure?
It might just be closure.
Is it just closure? Closure is
I think
probably the word we're
closure is,
looking for.
yeah,
We're getting closure.
yeah.
We're all getting closure, and sometimes
Closure's
closure's hard.
ambiguous enough. Yeah, it's
Yeah. Okay.
ambiguous
Closure.
enough where it's not negative or positive, although it's leaning more towards negative. So yeah, we'll just use closure for now.
Welcome to semantics with Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kyle storms out. We saw that. He knocks the painting down. He goes to sit on the front porch. I'm surprised this is the first front porch scene that we've ever gotten, by the way. I'm sure we've had like little ones.
They
I know we've
just
seen like the fights and stuff, but the chairs.
The chairs are new. So
Yeah.
they pointed those chairs out in episode 1 when they got there. Like, oh my God, there's chairs out here. This is cool. The door is still fixed, which is bullshit.
Yeah, I hate
If
it.
you own that house, go back and sabotage that because I don't want to watch another summer of a working door. The whole point of the
Boo.
door not working was fun and people could potentially get locked out. But I'm sorry, but this is funny. Kyle setting up the Amazon packages to have a kiki with them and chat with them about what's going on is very funny. It's very SpongeBob sitting down with like a tissue and a chip and like going through absolute madness, just trying to talk out his feelings to inanimate objects. Like it is sad when you think about it that way, but it's also incredibly funny that he set them up in a little semicircle to like have a chat with them.
Well, he also did that because he knows he's talking to the camera. Like he's very aware that he's talking to us in that moment. But I agree.
Maybe
Like
I'm starting to think psychosis is setting in, and I know we've been like really hammering home the fact that he knows the cameras are on, so he is talking to us whenever he's frustrated. There's a part of me that believes that he actually might be going through psychosis and really talking without realizing there's cameras there.
yeah, I've got a theory on Kyle that I'll get to later as we break it down a little bit more. But in this moment, he's upset, obviously, because of what happened at dinner with his big toast and his big apology didn't land very well. I think that the newbies said it the best without understanding what they were talking about because they're like, nobody at the table really reacted. Everybody was just kind of like, yeah, and went about their business eating their food. What's happening right now is something we've seen so many times. Why it feels different. It's pointed out later in the episode by West of all people, who's like, dude, the grand gesture thing isn't landing. We don't need the grand gesture. You need the one-on-one time. We need to like
Yeah.
go back to basics here and just talk to your wife. You're bringing it to everybody thinking that you're going to have this big moment. And, Kyle's outside saying, well, fuck Ciara. Like I stood up for her nonstop and like, I can't win. I can't apologize without being laughed at. And he borderline blames Ciara for the issues he's having with Amanda. He's like, she always has Amanda's back, but never my back. Can you just be like a neutral friend? It's like, no, she can't be a neutral friend. And by the way, even if she was, she would still be on Amanda's side right now because you're not doing a good job. You're fucking this thing up. And for
Yeah.
the reasons that we're going to like, we'll talk about it again later because this is two people that just should not be together at the end of the day. But in this moment, and this just shows you more so where his head's at. It's like, why on earth would Ciara be team Kyle in any way, shape, or form? Amanda's going through it. Of course she's out there with Amanda. Of course she's laughing at you. Everyone at home was laughing when you started giving a toast because it's like, here we fucking go again. Grand gesture, like knock it off.
Yeah, the rest of the crew is pretty much just impervious to what's going on. They
Correct.
had no emotion towards it, no matter what. Obviously, I'm sure in some ways they just kind of feel bad for Amanda. It's embarrassing for Amanda, but Amanda's not acting embarrassed. She's just like, okay, this is more of the same. You guys know what I'm going through. Everybody's on her side. Everybody realizes what's going on. Wes was a great voice of reason this whole episode, and he didn't do a whole lot. He was just pointing out the glaringly obvious issue that's going on with Kyle right now. And in this moment, he's like, dude, he'll be fine. And Carl even going out there with Carl's inflection on his tone, he knows Kyle, like, we've been through this before, man. Like, you'll be all right. Like, it's not the end of the world.
He's getting frustrated.
Chin up. He's starting to get a little frustrated in a way that Carl can only portray how he's getting frustrated, where like he's being a little chipper towards Kyle instead of being like, hey man, you all right? Like, what's going on? He walks out immediately. Dude, you'll be fine. Like, enough. Like, it's okay. Like, people are getting to that point, but the rest of the crew, especially the newbies, are like, this seems like a big deal. You guys aren't even batting a fucking eyelash at this. What's going on? They've been through it a million times. That's what's going on. They realize that there's nothing you can do or say to Kyle. You can let him storm off. He's going to slam the door. He's going to break a painting. He's going to go sit outside and have a whole powwow with a couple of Amazon packages. Nothing's really going to change. We'll get over it tomorrow, or we won't. We'll have to see the whole Amanda, Kyle, apology, Dune setting, whatever you want to say. It'll just kind of move on. We just want to focus on having fun tonight, which is by far and away the best thing that they can do, especially for the audience at home.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job of it, right? Because they're brushing this off. Like, we're back at the table. Watching West and Jesse fuck around was hysterical because Carl comes back and he's trying to be a good friend, but at the same time, you can tell he's starting to reach his limit with all this shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, he just felt like, Ciara's got totally like, fuck you, Kyle energy. He's not sure where it's coming from. Like, again, every time that I hear that excuse, like, where's this coming from? I don't understand. Like, what do you want from me? It's like, brother, stop with that one. That one's going to bury you every time. That's why every time you start talking, you're immediately in the hole because you lead with shit like that. That makes no sense that you don't understand what's happening. But West and Jesse going back for like, he's fine. He's fine. Like, he's fine. Who gives a shit? Like, let's eat.
Wes says it because he went through so much with Ciara last year. Like, he was full force, brunt force right to his face the entire summer dealing with Ciara and all the fallout that happened from the season prior. Rightfully so. But he's looking back at Ciara. He's like, that was tame. She didn't really do anything. She's just laughing. And I think Carl also does understand. It's like, all right, like, I know where Kyle's coming from. He's not really like, we view it as he's manipulating the situation and trying to like move forward without actually apologizing to Amanda. He shouldn't be apologizing to the whole crew before he apologizes to Amanda. Everybody agrees with that. But at the same time, I'm sure Carl, like, with love for his friends, is looking around the table like, okay, you don't have to laugh at him. It's not that serious, but I get why you're laughing. So Carl's in a weird spot too, because he understands both sides. And at the same time, he's like, Kyle's not doing anything malicious. He's just doing the wrong thing. And he doesn't realize it's the wrong thing. And no one at this table is going to be able to convince Kyle otherwise.
Yeah, but we start pre-gaming to go out, which I love. Again, like, the energy in the house this season is great. Like, everyone's wanting to go out and party, have fun. That's what we want to see. Summer's supposed to be fun. And we're pre-gaming. The cardboard cutouts are hysterical. I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of one-on-one Kyle scenes talking to a cardboard cutout and opening up about his feelings. We always see him talking to inanimate objects. It's nothing new, but now he's got faces on those objects. So this could be really fun. But West and Amanda are talking about Ciara, because she grabbed her glasses off of his head because he was wearing her glasses. He was sweaty. She's like, take your glasses off your sweaty fucking forehead. She was just joshing. Like, it was just a funny moment. But it's funny because West is like, yeah, I always feel like things are good. Then Ciara hits me with like a tough one. Like, she could be joking and I'm just a wiener. She could be flirting. Yeah. He's like, I don't know. He is very funny to watch navigate this part of their relationship. Like, now that they've gotten here, we've gotten through the bulk, through the fallout. The rebuild is hysterical because he is still tiptoeing a little bit, but he's starting to like poke and be like, are we good? I think we're good. Are we good? I think we're good.
We had a few seasons we had a few scenes last year where he was not necessarily testing the waters, but Ciara would laugh at something that he said and he wasn't talking to her and he would get so giddy. I'm actually really happy. I think the main takeaway from this is it shows who West is as a person. Because he could have come in this summer and said, look, I took my hits last year. I'm coming in completely fresh and I'm going to act like everybody's cool. Everything's fine. I'm going to move on and I'm going to just start maybe not flirting with Ciara, but I'm going to treat her like she doesn't hate me. He could have
Right.
done that, and I don't think anybody necessarily would have blamed him, and maybe it would have shifted a little bit like, all right, Ciara, you gave it to him a lot last year. Maybe just move on a little bit. It shows who West is because he came in with the same energy. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know if we're fully good. I don't know what's going on. And he's so out of touch where you and I can see that comment and be like, yeah, dude, she's fucking with you. Like, she's
Yeah.
just goofing around. It's not that big of a deal. He looks at it like, I feel like she's kind of being mean to me. I don't, but like maybe she's not. I don't know. My whole brain's in a pretzel right now because I'm so stressed out about whether or not Ciara likes me. And I like that. I actually do appreciate that because it shows that he's kind of genuine and he realizes he did fuck up colossally and he's not really ready to just be like, all right, that's enough. Like, we're good. We can move forward. He's not putting his foot down and saying this is enough because he's not in a position where he can dictate those emotions. Ciara's in
Correct.
that position because you fucked her over. Now, I do think obviously they're fine and they're going to be fine and everything's fine and well, moving forward, we're going to be good. But I like that he still has that sort of temperament.
I do too. I agree. I think it's the correct way to go about it. I think it's the respectful way to go about it. And I think that that method is your best chance at actually having something with Ciara in the future. By something, I mean friendship or anything. Like, we don't know obviously where it's going to go. I don't think they're going to get back together. Do I kind of want them to? Yes, but that's irrelevant. But anyway, Amanda's going to bed and Kyle goes in there. And I think that's another thing that bothers me is like he plays aloof a lot where he's like, "Oh, you're going to bed?" She's like, "Yeah." He's like, "By yourself?" Since
Duh.
when has that been a problem? And she even says that. She's like, "I go to bed by myself every night." I know he cares, right? I know he cares. I know he loves her. Like, that's never a question mark. I don't think Kyle's a bad dude, genuinely. I think he's got a good heart. I think he's well intentioned. I think he gets in his own way. But like scenes like this where he goes, "I'm sorry." And she goes, "For what?" I was like, "Ooh, big moment. Like, this is a big chance. Like, she's actually, you have a shot here." And he said the right things, I think, for getting drunk, for talking about, he named everything.
Yep.
Cleanliness of the apartment, talking about you behind your back. Where you fall short, he tries to wheel and deal in these arguments to pass blame, right? To make it not all his fault, rather than just focus on what the issue is. He needs to share the blame to feel less guilty. So he's like, "Well, I tried to talk to you." She's like, "No, you fucking didn't. Not one time." Like, and she even said that coming into the weekend. She was like, "I was ready for the conversation. Conversation never happened. Like, you didn't try at all." It's like, "Yeah, well, it's hard to find a time when you're not high or tired." It's like, I know what you're doing. She calls you drunk and a mess and out late. Your equivalent for her is she's too high to talk to you. She's too tired because she's so high. Don't do that. Don't paint her in that light. That's not a good move at all. And also, she's like, "Dude, I don't smoke till 10:30. 10, I take the dogs out, then I blaze up. You have all day to talk to me." So you can't say that in that last little window of time where I am then stoned and tired, that's when you want to talk. That's not fair. You have all day long. It just gets, it devolves so fast. And she says something later that hits the nail on the head. "You don't want to hear what I have to say, Kyle." That's the problem. He wants to be able to smooth this thing over without making any real concessions and just have Amanda kind of fall in line and understand, like, "Hey, this is who I am and I'm not changing. You need to
Yep.
get on board." And he's trying to do that in a way where he's not taking full accountability.
Yeah, we've been discussing this a lot, especially for a lot of Bravo shows where relationships are completely falling apart. A lot of the times, usually on the guy's side, the answer is you know who you married, you know who you got involved with, you know who you started dating. And the answer on the other side is I expect you to mature a little bit. I expect you to make some concessions here and there. And yeah, I mean, you could look both ways and say, I don't really know who's right in this situation.
There's some
I
truth
know
to
who's
both.
right. Yeah, there's some truth to both. But in this exact situation, in this instance where he walks in, not fully tail between his legs, but he apologizes for all the right things. And you can even see it on Amanda's side. Yes, she wants closure. She wants him to actually apologize for certain things. She's willing to give him that if the conversation ended there. And it doesn't end there because as soon as she says one thing that he takes as a poke at him, he just starts spinning. And it goes from, okay, I apologize for everything. Okay, good, to, well, you get high every night. So when am I supposed to talk to you? And grown-ups work during the day, which is a crazy thing to say to your wife. But we're still here. We've never really moved on. This is the same conversation that we've had 4 years ago, 5 years ago, where you're doing all of these things and you're working all day and trying to build a business, and Amanda's sitting home all day being depressed and not doing anything. Like, we've had this conversation before. This is your opportunity to listen to other people like Carl, like West, like Ciara, who were telling you, dude, apologize. You've had all week to do it. The fact that she's even giving him this time now to apologize
Yes.
after all of that should be enough for you to say, okay, she loves me. She's giving me the chance here, even though I could have talked to her all week. I could have talked to her on Sunday on the ride home, and I didn't. And I should have, but I didn't. And she's still giving me a pass for that. Instead, it turns into something completely different, all because he perceives something as, oh, she's poking me and she's proud of me and she's trying to call me an alcoholic and she has a problem with the way that I live my life. That's not really what she was saying at all.
Oh.
And she wouldn't be saying that if she was giving you this chance. Like, you shouldn't even be getting this chance, to be like God's honest truth. You shouldn't be getting this chance a week later when people are holding your feet to the fire and laughing at you because you're apologizing to the rest of the crew. You should have already apologized to her. You didn't. She's giving you a chance here and you still screwed it up.
Yep. Period. And like that's exactly what he does when he feels poked or prodded at all. Because when he takes the first step in the apology and then says those things and she receives it well, it's almost like he thinks they're on a neutral playing field now. It's like, oh, well, now, by the way, I did try to talk to you. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yep.
No, you fucking didn't. And then when she makes good points or she makes him feel bad, he goes for insults immediately because he's like, fuck you. You're right. I hate that.
Yeah.
Adults go to work during the day. Like,
But he
bro,
never
come on.
builds. Like, and that's the other thing
No.
too. And we've seen so many arguments where it's like, okay, argue, argue, argue. He comes in for an apology. It's way too late. She allows it. You get to a good point again. And maybe not a good point, but you get back to where
Cordial.
she's not actively pissed at you. She's not actively openly talking to other people about how bad of a husband you are. And I know she's not using that terminology, but that's what she's saying. You get back to that point where it's like, okay, now you can build and you can take some time now. She's still allowing you to go out, by the way, which I thought was ridiculous that he was still going out that night after
It's
everything.
fucking wild, bro.
She's still saying, like, I'm expecting that you're going out and you're still going out. And she's not like pissed at you for going out. She's not giving you shit and saying, are you still going out? I can't believe it, which we've seen in the past. She's not doing that right now, but you can still go out. And then maybe in the morning, you show a little bit more effort. Maybe you start talking about these things. Maybe you apologize again. I don't know. That would be a crazy idea. A double apology. Maybe you deserve that. But he never does that. He wants it all right now. He's like, okay, we're good. I've apologized. Everything's square one again. Now let's talk about what I want to talk about. And that's the intimacy. That's the personality. That's all the other things that go into this. No, it's just not. That's just not how it works. And you would think that he would have learned that over the past 7-8 years, but he hasn't.
That's the big thing, right? Is the lack of adjustment, the lack of learning the same playbook for every single thing that they're doing. And yeah, it's like he wants it now. Like, we're good now. We're done. No, you have a lot of concessions to make. There's a lot you guys have to work through. And I'm not saying that it's a one-way street. I'm sure there's things that Amanda has to work on too. But your behavior and lack of change has made her the worst thing ever. You've made her indifferent. Indifference is the kiss of death. That's why you're now separated, because she got to a point where she doesn't care. And that's why she's not saying shit about you going out. It's not that she's like, oh, I'm going to let you do this, but like, you come home. She doesn't care. And that's the part that he's not getting. That's another part of it, because he's getting emotional about all of these things and he's trying to dive in and he's trying to say all this shit. She's not getting rattled because she does not care. And that is a direct result of your behavior for the tenure of your relationship, period. But let's keep going. And we get to meet Mia Scott, who is her boyfriend or boyfriend, but he's the one, according to her. He's a restaurateur. He travels a lot. He's opened up a spot down in Miami. So we get to learn a little bit more about him. I like Mia so far. I think she's been a fun addition to the house. She hasn't done a ton, but she vibes well, and that's important.
The biggest thing is she vibes well, and the biggest thing for me, I got a little concerned because she didn't go out the first night. She immediately just went into Ciara's room, sat in the bed with Ciara. I'm like, oh God, we don't need another one.
Bug.
But the next night when everybody's going out, she actually separated. And I know she's Ciara's friend, and that's, how she got on the show. And she's going to be Ciara's support in lieu of not having Paige there, of course, which I don't really think Ciara needs much support anyway, but she's still Ciara's friend. The next night when they split up, she split up from Ciara. I love that. That's awesome. Get to know everybody else in the house. Don't just hitch your ride to Ciara and walk around with her and just be like an additional person, because we've seen that before. Do your own thing, clear your own path. I like that.
I do too. That's an important step to take as a newbie. Can you go out and do your own thing without the person that brought you in? So yeah, big step for her. Well done. Now Ciara and Amanda are talking, and valid points made, because Amanda's talking about potential kids. She's like, how are we going to treat our children? And Ciara's a real one. And that's because she will say the difficult things. She doesn't do it in a mean way, but she's not afraid to push this a little bit further. She's like, yeah, is he going to storm out or slam the dinner table? Is what Amanda says. And her response is, I'm not saying he's a bad dad, but you do deserve better. And she's like, you're right, but I don't know if I'd ever be good enough for somebody else. That's a tough thing to hear for a lot of reasons. One, I don't know how much of that is just her and her own insecurities. I don't know how much of that has been affected by Kyle and his behavior over the years. I would imagine it's somewhere in between. I'm sure she has her own things going on, but Kyle and what he's been doing to her over the past however long has definitely affected her and made her feel a certain way. And I'm sure a big part of that is when you guys fight and you yell at her, your comeback to her is always to attack who she is as a person. She attacks the things you're doing. You attack her traits, that she has none, that she's not interesting, that she's not anything that would make her desirable. And then you're questioning why you guys never have sex. It's beyond me, dude. But the way that he goes about it versus how she goes about things, I do believe has directly led to her saying, I don't know if I'm good enough for anyone else. That's fucking nuts. That's crazy. And it's super sad.
Yeah, it is really sad. And I think we're going to have to gear up for a lot more sad conversations with Amanda specifically. Not even the Kyle and Amanda stuff, because when they go face to face, you can tell the indifference. You can see it. She's not really getting rattled. She's just kind of speaking her mind, and Kyle's getting rattled. That shit's not really going to hit home. It's when she's going to be talking to Ciara, when she's talking to Lindsay, I'm sure at some point this season, whoever it might be, when you really get an insight into how she's feeling, that's when it's going to be super sad.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that, but everybody gets home from the bars late night as per usual. And Kyle, when he walked in, I literally wrote down in my notes, I cannot imagine being in such a bad spot with my wife and still doing this every night. That's baffling, sir.
Yeah.
Baffling. Just take a night off. Like, you want to make a connection, you want to figure this out.
The
first step is just don't go out.
Well, we've said that before, and we've said that in seasons past when they were in better relationship spots. This one actually makes more sense in a weird way that he's staying out, because they're in such a bad place that his options are, do I stay home? And this is in his mind, in his words, do I stay home with my wife who hates me and hates everything about me and won't talk to me about anything or won't ask me questions, as he keeps saying? Or do I just go out and try to act like everything's okay? Like, this one actually makes more sense. When we had this conversation 4 seasons ago, we're like, dude, stay home. She's asking you to stay home. She's asked you point blank, and she's made it very clear that she would like it if you would stay home at least one of the nights on a random weekend. Not every weekend, but one of the nights on a random weekend. Just stay home with your wife. You don't have any reason to go out. Then he would get drunk and come home, and the whole thing would start all over again. This one actually kind of makes more sense, where he's like, yeah, I've got shit to deal with back home. And I know he's like 41, 42 years old, whatever it might be, but he's still thinking in the way of like a 22-year-old guy. I've got stuff to deal with at home. I'm just going to go out and just act like everything's okay. And I'm sure he is actually acting like everything's okay. I know we got that scene last week where he kind of dumped a little bit and he's talking about Amanda and like their life and everything. He was going through it at that point. I imagined him out there just completely acting like everything's fine. And that's pretty much how he's getting through it, I guess.
Who knows? But we get to the next morning, and even the newbies, they've been there for 3 days. And Levi and Bailey are like, it doesn't seem like this is all that confusing. Like, they understand it, and they don't even have the full context of everything. And Bailey has been through a similar situation, so she sees herself in Amanda. She's like, it's challenging to watch. This is how nice she is, though. She's like, I can't deal with that kind of passion again. It's like, wow, that's a really nice way to say asshole. Like,
yeah. It's tough when people are thrown into a new situation and they can pick it up very quickly
instantly.
And the person who's probably the biggest culprit in all of this, still hasn't figured this out after 7 years. But I like the newbies. I like their
Me too.
interjections. I like the way that they kind of discuss things. You know, they have each other at least. And by newbies, I just mean Levi and Bailey. They have each other to at least decompress and just kind of talk about it the next morning, and then text Carl and see if he's getting some bagels for everybody. They're in a good spot.
I agree. Now, Ciara and Jesse, like I said, I enjoy their scenes together. I think they're funny. They play off each other really well. I am trying to chalk it up to these are two very flirty people, and they're just good friends, because
Yeah.
she's like, what should I wear today? And I'm like, ah, ha, ha, ha. Because Jesse's like tiptoeing around it. He's like, well, I like that one because it's smaller. I'm like, ah, ha, 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 ha. Please don't fuck. Like, please don't have sex with each other.
Also, like, when he says things like that, it's okay because Ciara receives it okay, but I'm like, don't go any further. Like,
yeah, like just
you're
simmer.
okay. Don't test it. Just you're right there. You're good. You're in a good spot. Don't like take this and run with it, please. I don't want you to get a false confidence and get weird again.
But she does it too.
She gives it
She's
back.
like,
I know.
you gotta try dating someone opposite of your type, maybe a little more fiery. You know, someone will talk back and have an opinion. She goes to her confessional. She's like, am I naming characteristics of myself? Maybe. It's like, ah, ha, ha, ha.
When she said that first, I'm like, oh, Jesse, please listen to me right now. She's not talking about herself. She's just talking about any other woman. And then she goes to her confessional and immediately just undid all of it. Like, come on, Ciara, please don't do this to us. I want to have your back here. I want Jesse to be in a good place too. I don't want it to get weird. You're going to make it weird. Stop
Please
doing
don't
this.
boink. Don't boink. Just be funny like this all season, and it will be cool. Don't have sex.
Yeah.
Let's go to the beach.
Well,
Boys are playing.
before we go to the beach, I got to talk to you guys really quick about our friends over at Robody. And you've heard me talk about Robody before. Maybe you're considering GLP-1s. Maybe you have some friends or family that have considered GLP-1s. I'm telling you right now, you got to turn right to Robody, because there are so many more benefits that Robody offers with their GLP-1 weight loss journey. They have 100% online care, access to clinically proven FDA-approved medications, free insurance check, side effect management, dosing support, and so much more. Maybe it's a little daunting. Maybe it's something that you're considering, but you're not really sure how to jump in. Ro is here for all of those reasons that I just named. They'll help you every step of the way. And the best part is Ro offers the first FDA-approved GLP-1 pill for weight loss at the lowest cost around. The new GLP-1 pill has the same weight loss ingredient as the shot, and it packs comparable results to the shot. So if you're considering GLP-1s, I know that if I needed GLP-1s, I would turn right to Robody, because they would have me exactly where I need to be. You should go ahead and go to ro.co/bravbros to see if you're eligible for the new GLP-1 pill on Ro. That's ro.co/bravbros to get started on Ro. Go to ro.co/safety for boxed warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medications. Now we'll go hit the beach.
And hit the beach we shall. The boys are playing some spike ball, and it's just such a funny comment from Amanda. It's like, the boys are getting along too much. It's like, yeah, it's just dudes. You know, we brush.
Yeah.
There's things going on.
How do we throw something out there just to fuck them up? They got to have some drama. I don't want to deal with this. Let's just throw something out there.
Like, we could be going through something wildly tumultuous, and if we're standing around with a spike ball net and three of our friends are like, nah, let's play spike ball. I don't really want to talk about it right now.
Yeah, it's like the old situation where you have a friend that's going through a breakup or a divorce or something, and you go to play a round of golf with them.
Right.
You come home, your girlfriend or wife is like, hey, what happened? You want to give me some info? I don't know. We didn't talk about that. You were out there for 4 hours. What happened? We made a lot of jokes. We talked about golf. We had a couple of beers. I actually completely forgot he was engaged and broke off the engagement. Do you want me to call him now? I'll try to figure it out. I just completely forgot. What do you want? Yeah, that's dudes.
Yep, that's us. But anyway, we get a little more from KJ, who is trying to just be one of the dudes this summer. He catches feelings fast, so he's trying not to.
One of the lads.
One of the lads. Love to hear that, but he's just trying to like be cool this summer, not dive into anything. I'm really enjoying KJ so far, so I want to give him a little shout out there. Kyle says to KJ, my goal is to be home tonight by midnight. It's like, okay, sure. But that's when West has a good moment. This is a big moment for him. This is before the quote unquote apology dune, but he goes up to him and he's like, dude, I think it's just an overcorrection at this point. I think that by making the grand gesture, you think it's a bigger gesture for Amanda, but she'd rather it be you two. So it's not a public shitstorm. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely fucking
100%
yes.
yes. Nothing more to add to it, honestly.
No, it was so well said, and I think it landed a little bit. I think with Kyle, I think things like here's the thing with him. I think things land. I think he hears them. I think he understands them. But I think when he gets rattled, it goes out the window and he gets defensive, especially with the topic. Of course, it's a Bravo show. We got to talk about it. So let's talk about it when we go to the apology dune with Kyle and Amanda. And he says, I think we need to work on our communication. You think? But he wants to feel like they're on the same page. Now, Amanda leads it off with all she really had to say, in my opinion. I don't think she needed to do any more than just say this one line. And again, her indifference is allowing for her to speak very articulately. Is that a word?
Yep.
Sure. I'm trying to say articulate and I can't even. She's speaking very well about this thing. Like, she's not getting overwhelmed in these conversations. We've seen that in the past. She's not getting frazzled or amped up at all. She's just neutral in explaining where she's at. I'm not going to do things for you when you're not doing things for me. And that's it. Because you want her to fix everything. You want her to be okay with all of the shit you're doing. You keep wanting to say, I don't know what you want from me. But we're all sitting on our couches going, she wants you to go out less, drink less, and not DJ all the time. That's it. It's not that hard. But his route of I don't know what you want is literally just his last ditch effort to hang on to. She's going to be cool with me one day. She's going to be cool with what I'm doing. She's going to get over this thing. I just have to grin and bear it. And one day she'll just accept that this is who I am. What he didn't want to happen and what I didn't want to happen, because I'm tired of talking about it, but what he really doesn't want to talk about is drinking. And there were so many things here, and I am not calling Kyle an alcoholic. I don't label anybody, but there were so many things in this conversation that resonated with me and who I used to be. Because the second that this topic even comes up, the first thing is defend. I only drink when I'm being social. Doesn't matter. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand about having a drinking problem. Having a drinking problem means that you can't drink safely. It means that if you drink twice a month, but those 2 times that you drink, you black out, you have a problem with drinking. So him trying to say it's a social thing is irrelevant. And her response is the point. It's not even so much about that, Kyle. It's about the fact that she doesn't want to babysit you. She wants to be able to send her 40-year-old husband out and not expect him to fall and hit his head at the bar and then leave his credit card and then hear stories about you and then get DMs about you and then get all these other things that make her concerned that she can't trust you or that you are a grown man baby. And on top of that, you're now blaming last week on her. By saying I was in a really bad place last week, that's implying that because of our relationship, I felt the need to go off the rails. So explain to me the last 7 years on TV then, the last 10 years on TV. It doesn't work, but this is what a lot of people in this situation will do. They will point to one night that they weren't a fucking mess. Last night I was fine. That doesn't erase the fact that you haven't been fine for so very long. And on top of that, when you have your wife telling you, I don't want you to do this and I don't want you to do this. And every time you go out, you do both. And then she has to get these DMs from people that are saying you're doing sketchy shit. It's very simple. You make the concessions to show her. By the way, if you were capable of going out and not being a fucking mess and not having rumors come up, I have a pretty good feeling Amanda wouldn't have an issue with you going out. Her problem is when you do, you end up staying at a quote unquote fan's apartment.
Yeah. I think that would have been for all of us watching at home. We would be able to understand that maybe it's a little bit of growth if he was drinking less, going out the same amount, but not coming home a blackout mess, coming home at 11:45 or 12 with Carl, who's not drinking. all of those things would add up, and it would get to a point where I think Amanda would be like, okay, cool, you're moving in the right direction, which is, by the way, still a compromise for Amanda, because she would probably think by this point in life, by this point in your marriage, that you wouldn't really be going out much at all. Maybe you're still on the show. You would go out for special occasions. You would just be kind of like hurting people and going through all the motions and doing whatever, but still going home with her. And I think that that would have been a reality that set in at some point, but it never really did. If anything, it kind of ramped up. But when he got to the point where now he's minimizing everything, where he's like, I just brought up to you 7 different reasons why we're not working, and you're looking at one thing. That one thing is bigger than all 7 of
That's
those reasons.
the thing.
And also, that one thing is leading to those 7 other reasons that you're pointing at Amanda. So
Right.
the fact that he doesn't see that as a huge disconnect. The other thing that's just kind of downright funny, he took her to Apology Dune and didn't apologize for anything. He took her to Apology Dune to discuss what he thinks is wrong with their relationship, which you've done a million times, and it falls flat every time because Amanda can just be like, dude, really? We're like, why are you talking about these things? This is the one big thing that you've never addressed and you always minimize, and it never gets any better. It only gets worse. And yet you still use that as a weird scapegoat where you're like, well, yeah, we were in a bad place, so of course I went and did that. Of course you went and did that because you haven't changed anything. You're still doing the same shit. So we're not going to address these other weird 7 things that you just brought up to me until you start to address that, which you never have. So that's the big problem that's staring us in the face constantly. He gets all flustered, of course, walks away, does the thing where he goes into the ocean to cool off, literally goes into the ocean to cool off, and then comes back. And Amanda, like we've said a million times, she's so indifferent. She can walk back. She can make some comments. I liked West interjecting, like, dude, Kyle is such a fucking baby sometimes. Like, it's brutal. And again, we have gone through this so often. We've gone through this every summer. Even West saying that, which just seems like the most obvious thing to say in this situation. When he said that, I'm like, thank God somebody said it. Thank God somebody's actually commenting on what's going on here, because we were going crazy for years. And I know that, you know, people go through psychosis when they're on fucking reality TV. They're very different people. They don't really know how to act, and they think that all of these things are normal. Being a normal person and actually just pointing out very plainly, Kyle's being such a fucking baby right now, it'll hit. And it makes so much sense. And I'm happy that other people in the house aren't just completely moving away from it. They're commenting on it, and they're realizing this is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's just frustrating. It's frustrating. You're watching it kind of like banging your head against your hand. Like, brother, like, how are you not putting any of this together? And the way that he spins it, because again, and this is something that alcoholics like myself do. Again, I will never call somebody an alcoholic. I don't know the situation. I don't know enough. And I'm not saying that he is. But what I will say, with people like me, the premise of losing alcohol in your life will cause you to do whatever you can to save that part of your life, no matter what. You'll say and do anything, such as if you feel like that's being threatened, you will say things to your wife like, you know what I think our issue is? Again, the issue is the drinking, because everything else stems from the drinking. You going out, you being a mess, the rumors, everything comes from one thing. And she's made it clear for years and years and years. And before she blamed the drinking, she just blamed you going out. Now it has evolved into this because she recognizes what the fuck's going on. Now, if you push somebody like me into a corner and make me think that I might have to give up alcohol, I would respond with something like, well, you know what our issue is? I think our issue is with compatibility, with chemistry, with intimacy, with common interest. Why don't you get some curiosity, some drive, some intention, some personality? By the way, this is about my drinking. If that's what you think we're coming here to talk about, you're driving me to the drink. So you have just exposed all of her biggest insecurities in front of people. You have just said the meanest things you possibly can to her. You've just said the things to her that makes her feel like she's not good enough for anybody else. And on top of that, you blamed all of your problems, which stem from you drinking too much, on her. You are the reason that I'm doing this, because you drive me to the bottle. If this was me, an alcoholic, this is exactly how I would have reacted.
Yeah, it's the whole situation is very tough to watch at this point, because you feel bad for Amanda more than you have in a long time. And there's no resolve between the two of them. But you can see even after he comes back from the water and, you know, they quasi make up, if you even want to call it that, They say that they love each other, and you get Amanda in her confessional. Like, she does love Kyle, but nothing's changing. Nothing's ever getting better. It's not going to. And all of these insecurities that now he's pointing out are starting to come to a head. And her indifference is very, very loud and clear. And we all know where it's heading. We all know where it eventually did head up. It's just tough to watch all of it unfold.
Yep. And her indifference back at the group, you know, saying things. She's making jokes. Like, she's making jokes. Like, I didn't even get an apology. An apology due. And I didn't say sorry once. Like, haha. That's terrifying if you're Kyle. Like, that's why I said to you earlier, like, that's why I wouldn't go out. Like, your wife's literally like hanging by a thread. It's Meredith Marks and Seth right now. You're hanging by a thread because she's so fucking indifferent. She doesn't care about you anymore. That's sad. She loves you, but she doesn't care because she's used to it. She's used to it, but she's literally sitting there crying with a producer. And like, that shows you, like, she does have emotions and feelings. She's just trying to navigate this whole thing, and it sucks. And Kyle like returns back to her. It's like, now he says, sorry, you know, like, I love you. I'm not trying to throw everything down the drain. All this makes me insanely sad and depressed. Dude, what do you think she feels? What are you talking about? It's ludicrous. It's outrageous.
It is ludicrous.
But let's get back home. And I love that Carl, dude, I've been saying it for years. And I love that people are finally on the Carl train. It's fucking awesome. But Carl's leading the charge to go out, which is awesome. They're going to do a dinner, and then everyone's going to the club. Some people are staying home and having sushi. Other people are going out, and then we're going to reconvene later at the bar. And KJ and Bailey have a little conversation about Arizona, and we get to find out more about KJ's dad, who is Al Martin, played professional baseball, and his relationship with his parents, because he's pretty much raised by his mom and very close with his mom. His dad, he hasn't talked to in 5 or 6 years. I guess when he was playing, he just, according to KJ, never acted like he had a family.
Yeah. The one little throwaway comment too, which was probably just thrown in to be a little funny. When he would ask about his dad growing up, his mom would say, God is your dad. I wonder if there was like a brief moment in history, in KJ history, where he did actually think he was Jesus reincarnated.
Oh, interesting.
Like, you think like God is your dad. You don't actually have a dad. That kind of leads to a lot of different questions. Did he think he was Jesus for a little bit? I think yes. I think maybe he did. And then
Ken Jesus.
Yeah, maybe that's what the J stands for. And then it brings up another question. If Jesus was on Earth right now, would he skateboard? And I think the answer to that is definitely yes as well.
But I think he'd longboard.
Maybe. I feel like it depends. If you look at Jesus coming back as like kind of hippie-ish, which, you know, I would understand, but I think he'd be pretty rad. I think he'd be doing some cool nose drags. What the fuck is the
nose drags? He'd be doing nose drags. Yeah. Dev got me a skateboard for our anniversary.
Actually, I got to take that back immediately. Nose drag sounds like he's doing cocaine. So yeah,
nose slide.
Nope.
Nose slide, pal.
Yep.
But yeah, Dev got me a skateboard for our anniversary. It's awesome.
Fun.
Because I had one out in California, so now I get to break my leg back in Philly. Hell yeah. Me and Kev are going to the skate park this summer. Yeah, the podcast is going to end because I'm going to die on a ramp, but I'll look rad doing it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you don't die, but maybe, I don't know, I could see if you get hurt, then you're just kind of immobilized, and all you can do is podcast. So
That's a good point.
We'll be seeing a lot of
out content. Hell yeah. All right. That's a positive spin on breaking my leg.
Yeah.
Well, let's head out to dinner. And again, it's fun. It's funny. It's light, you know, nothing serious, but you know, Bailey's a Buddhist. Ciara dated a Buddhist, didn't have a couch, so she dumped him. That's valid. That's a valid gripe.
Very valid. Yeah.
I get it.
Sit pillows. Yeah.
But she's like, you know, I want a Christian husband. And obviously Jesse makes a joke, but why do we have to reel it in and like switch the terminology? She's like, or someone who's just spiritual. I'm like, don't leave the door open. Slam the fucking thing shut. I think they're just kidding.
I'm still okay. I think they're just kidding. I think it's just a goof. I think we're okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I really
like it.
Yeah,
it makes me laugh. Like, I like it. I just can't have it happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too.
You guys get what I mean at home? You know,
they get it.
Okay, cool. But we're back home with the sushi crew, and we're doing 2 minutes to ask anything. This won't end badly. It actually didn't end as badly as it could have, but Mia goes, is Scott the one? Yes. Does Scott think you're the one? Yes. Great. Awesome. West, did Ciara tell you I was a dick? Yes, she did. Of course. What's your intentions for the summer? And Kyle jumps in. He's like, do you want to make out with her again? That's all we really all want to hear. Like, do you want to? And he's like,
rip the band-aid off. Let's get into it. We only have 2 minutes. We have to get into it.
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah. But I don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, okay. That was just a good West moment. But then Kyle goes, I think this tells you everything you need to know. Because Ben, I know what he's doing. This is intentional. And this is on behalf of Amanda. And you can tell he cares about Amanda. And he says, would you DJ less to spend more time with her? Keep in mind, I've only been DJing for a year. I'm stoked that we have people in the house now to like answer the question. Answer the question. Wes did it. Ben did it. Everybody's like, answer the fucking question. And he can't. He gets saved by the bell.
We were getting somewhere, and I'm actually thankful that we didn't do 5 minutes for a question instead of 2. But there was, and everybody in the room felt like maybe we were breaking through because we were forcing him to actually answer the question. I don't think that he would have actually answered the question. I think it would have been more deflection. It would have been more on Amanda rather than him, which obviously just kind of gets you in the right mindset to see exactly where he is. It would have pissed everybody off. So I'm actually happy that it was only 2 minutes, because his answer, if he had another 3 minutes to go off of it, probably would have pissed everybody off in that room, and it would have boiled over into something else. I'm happy that we stopped, and he wanted to stop really bad. But if he had to go for another 3 minutes, I don't know what kind of story he would have concocted, and it would have bothered me. It would have bothered everybody else, and it would have ruined the mood. Keep it at 2 minutes. I don't want to hear any more about what he's going through.
No, because you're going to ruin the night, right? Then everyone's going to be pissed at Kyle. Then he's going to stay home by himself, and it's going to be a whole like sob story of he's the fucking victim somehow. So yeah, I agree with you, but everyone goes out, and we get a great Arnari. It's my favorite.
It took so long to get there. I really did think we were going to get that earlier, and we didn't.
I know. Arnari. When I was in Australia, I played baseball in Australia. I don't know if you know that, but
yeah, guys,
the 3 kids that lived at the house, like my host family, they literally sounded like they go, Arnari. I'd be like, hey, you guys want to like throw the ball? I'd be like, no. And their grandmother.
Koala while you were there?
Did I have sex with a koala?
Yeah, I thought you did. Wasn't that one of those stories?
No, I got bit by a quokka.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Sure.
Yeah, that's definitely the same. This
Bestiality
is what I'm gonna do now. When we go back to like the same stories that you do, I'm gonna add in something ludicrous to just make you talk about it. I have to make you openly deny things. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's fun. It's a good. We have fun here, you know.
Yeah, we have fun here.
We have fun.
Not with koalas, but you know.
No, not anymore. That's why I'm not allowed back in Australia. Let's get back home, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Remember, Kyle's gonna get home at midnight. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and now they're bopping. You know, they're doing their thing in the house. This, that, the other, DJing, everything. West and Ciara,
a little flirty,
little cozy. Little cozy. I don't.
That was above flirty. As far as like the flirt,
that was cozy.
Goes, I wanted to call it a flirt shirt, by the way, but it's a flirt chart. As far as the flirt chart goes, that was above flirting. That was above the innocent flirty that we've been seeing from Jesse and Ciara. A little bit of West and Ciara. This was like, you know, cozy. You guys were cooking. I know you were cooking mac and cheese, but you know, get a little close there. And I like Ciara's response. You know, I get to clock out. You know, after midnight, the sun goes down a little bit. I can't be doing this all the time. I got to clock out and just, you know, do some things for a couple minutes here. She was funny as shit, honestly. I'm happy. I love it when she goes out. She always has a great time when she goes out. She just doesn't go out enough for me, but that's okay. I'll get over it at some point. She was having a lot of fun and going upstairs and leaning over the railing with West's thing and yelling at everybody, go to bed. You have to go to bed now. And they went to bed. This was great. This is exactly what we need.
Did you for a split second think that she was sending people to bed to bring West into her bed?
No, I'm not delusional.
Not bed, but into her room. I thought like maybe she's like, yeah,
I know you did.
Chat. No. I was hoping.
Look, you're not alone. I know you're not alone. I don't want to make you feel like you're alone in thinking that, but you gotta stop, man.
What about this? What about this?
No.
What about this? They don't get together during the season. Give me the off season. Is that okay? They're so cute together.
I look, I'm getting there. I am getting there.
Okay,
but
that's enough for me.
I don't want, like, if it gets to a point where they're both in a really great spot and they both clearly very much want it, and we all know it's going to go well, it'll have a huge positive impact on the show and on the house. If it happens now, it might be a little weird. So I don't want it to happen this season at all.
Okay. I'm okay with that. That gives me reason to hope a little bit. You're not going to crush my dreams. So, okay. I'll simmer for a little bit. Dreams. I know you do frequently. It's okay. That's why I love you. You keep me humble, you know?
Yeah.
Keep me humble.
Keep you humble. Yeah.
Somebody. Yeah. Thanks, dude. But now it's 5:15 and Kyle gets in bed and says, "Hi, I miss you."
This is like a little. I might be alone in this. The thing that pisses me off the most about Kyle, he always fucking wakes her up when he goes to bed. Like, why? I know. Dude, if you're someone, and I know he's like so out there with all of this relationship bullshit now, that he always, even when he's drunk, he still feels like I gotta talk to her. Maybe I'll have a good moment. He might not even remember the moment in the morning. Let her sleep. Like, have some fucking class and go to bed. Just avoid. If she wakes up and she wants to start talking to you about what time you came to bed, fine. She doesn't know what time it is. Like, you do this to yourself all the time. I used to get mad at him for telling on himself because he'd come home at 3:30. She'd be sound asleep and he'd wake her up. And then she'd get pissed at him. I'm like, dude, why are you doing that? Sneak into bed. Don't say a goddamn word. If she has problems, talk to you in the morning. If you have problems, you talk to her in the morning. Don't wake her up at 5:15. What are we doing?
No idea. And, he's saying I have a little anxiety. He's like, yeah, drinking doesn't help your anxiety, Kyle. Yeah. And he's like, well, I didn't drink that much. Dude, you're slurring your words with a face mask on right now.
Yeah. You wouldn't be awake at 5:15 in the morning if you weren't drinking, buddy.
Yeah. So again, like, trying to label it what it's not is just, and I know he's hammered. He's not going to make any sense right now, but
there's no point in having a conversation when you're like that either.
No, but here's what I got from this scene and from Kyle. He cares. He loves Amanda. He wants this to work out, but he is unwilling to change who he is.
Yep.
That's why they will not work. And that's why they didn't work. And that's okay in the long run. I have no issue at all with Kyle doing Kyle Cook things single. Don't care.
Yep.
I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense to go DJ. You fill houses, you fill the room, do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you made false promises to this woman for years, and now
under God,
you got the government involved.
KJ's dad,
fucking KJ's dad is now you're swearing on him and shit. So yeah, it's just like, I understand the people that say like, Amanda knew who she was marrying, but you do expect somebody to make some adjustments if they love somebody. So that's where I don't fully buy into that, but I do get where they're coming from. But I just think it's two people that do love each other, but they just were never meant to be together.
Yep. That's what makes it sad.
Mm-hmm. Let's get to some preguntas.
We got a couple of West and Ciara, Jesse and Ciara stuff from M Bagel 5. Team West and Ciara or Team Jesse and Ciara or neither? And also, haha Leo, why did I get excited about Ciara and West? We're getting there. We are. And by the way, not Team Jesse and Ciara. We are definitely not.
No, God, no.
I'm loosely associated with West and Ciara. Steele is firmly associated. We'll get there. We're moving in the right direction, guys. Just you don't want too much too soon. It's gonna fall apart if we do that. This is not about Summer House, but from Grace Caroline Larcade. Can you give me your Traders screener for next week? I'm desperate. Thank you. We don't get screeners for Traders, guys.
We get the premiere.
Yeah, we did.
That's it. After that, they don't give us any more. We have a bunch of obscure game shows we can give you that you've never heard of. Yeah. We have those screeners.
Sure. Absolutely. We got like the entire season of Deal or No Deal Island with who hosts that? Joe Mangione. I always forget his last name. Is it Mangione?
It was him?
Yeah, it was him hosting that. And Boston Rob was on it too. We have that whole season. We got that entire season before it even came out. I don't even know if it came out, but we got it.
I have no idea.
That? You can pay us for that, actually. Deal or no deal fashion.
Yeah, I like that. KCL Fowler, why does no one check Kyle when he's nasty to Amanda in front of the group? I
We're
don't
getting
know.
there.
We're getting to that point, and I think why we haven't seen it. One, Lindsay's not there, and she's not afraid to tell him to shut the fuck up. But two, I think that a lot of people recognize that this has been a long time coming, that this feels different than it has in the past. And I
Yeah.
think that there is also a little bit of concern that if you go in, he's just going to take it to 11 and it's going to completely or devolve into just a fucking nightmare, which all signs point to that's going to happen when Carl's chasing
Yeah,
him out
for
of the
sure.
house later in the season. So I would imagine they're trying to navigate it the best they can on Amanda's behalf because they don't want to make it worse for her. I still think they
Yeah.
should. Like, I don't like that they don't check them, but
No,
I think
and I
that's
think
the
that
reasoning.
we are getting to that point just from where Amanda is. Everybody can clearly see where she is. Carl, obviously, we've seen the clips. He's going to hit his breaking point, but West is also speaking up already. Like they are going to hit their breaking point and they will check him at some point. In years past, we've never seen that. So I am interested to see how that goes. We've got if a tree falls in the forest, does it actually make a sound? Question from Jamie Gibbs. Is the apology dune still an apology dune if an apology wasn't made? No, it is. It's a
No,
blame dune.
It's the deflection dune.
Yeah, the deflection dune. Yeah.
Dune flexion.
Yeah, it's starring Timothy Chalamet as
Yep.
Kyle Cook.
Yep.
This is dangerous from Jacqueline R. Summer house drinking game. Sip every time Kyle blames everyone but himself for his problems.
Oh God.
I
don't think anybody can handle
no,
that.
I can't do it. I typically watch these shows in the morning. That would be a problem. Even if I did watch it on Tuesday night when it aired, I'm not a Tuesday drinker, so I can't do that. And Steele's in recovery, so he
I can't. I could handle it back in the day. I would have crushed it. That's my pregame, but yeah, no, I can't do it now. Sorry, guys. Boring old sober guy here.
From Coley Marie 1, this is a good point. Is it just me or is Jesse giving everyone the ick? I may have overlooked that. Maybe everybody in the house has the ick from Jesse from last year, and he can feel that, and that's why he's doing what he's doing. That's a possibility too. It might not just be him being just self-aware of how he looked last year and not wanting to do that. It might honestly be that everybody else in the house is like, yeah, Jesse's here. Okay.
Interesting. Or is she saying, is it just me, or is Jesse giving every like audience member the ick?
That too, but I'm choosing to believe it's in the cast that everybody's got the ick from him.
There might be a little hint of ick.
Yeah, I could see that.
A slight scent of ick going around. Billy Big Deals. So far this season, is West the number one guy in the group? I would say
By
he
far.
is. Yeah,
Yep.
he is up there on a pedestal right now. Hopefully he can maintain it.
We'll end on this one because I did notice this from Tanil Marie 23. Why does Kyle wear his wedding ring around his neck when he lost it? I did see that he has a wedding ring around his neck. It might not be his. That's the thought that I may have had, but he did
so
say
he
in the
doesn't
last
lose
episode,
it again.
I think maybe he found it or he got it, or that was his. Instead of apologizing to his wife, he went out and got his wedding ring again, and now he wears it around his neck. I have no idea, but it was bizarre. I caught that early on.
Maybe it's a metaphor for it physically hanging by a thread.
Yeah. Two hanging by a thread references. Look at you.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
How about that? But yeah, that's it for questions. Good job, guys. You didn't react to the photo.
Yeah, that's a first.
I'm proud
of you.
We're both proud of you.
We're both proud. We're so proud. But yeah, I don't know what to expect week to week, but that's also what makes a good show. And this has been a really good season. And like you said, I think a massive, massive part of that is that the house has not been bogged down by Kyle and Amanda. And it looks like when they do get bogged down that they clap back. So that's a good thing too. But
oh yeah.
That's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope.
That's our show. Brav Bros gotta go. Got it. Bye.
Here.
Brav Bros are out of here now.